All right, so making a slab project from a template. I've got a few templates, and making your own templates is pretty easy too. So this is one I just made. I wanted kind of an arched shape from the side, and then this is the slab that's going to arch up. And I make it originally out of paper, and that way, especially with something I want to be symmetrical, I can just fold it in half and cut it. And if I'm only doing it once, then I'll keep it out of paper. If I'm doing something that I'm going to do a few more times, or that I want to have available for other people to use, tar paper is great because it's not ruined when it's wet, and it's got just enough stiffness. It's stiff enough that if you mess with it and mistreat it, it's going to stay mistreated, but it's got enough stiffness that it holds its shapes, easier to trace around the edge, that sort of thing. So I've got my slab here, and I've got the three basic shapes. The bottom, which is this length, and it's actually going to sit just above here. That's going to be little feet, and then this and the side piece. Now this doesn't need to be that wide. It doesn't even need to stay this shape. That just depends on how wide I want the teapot to be. Say if I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that's maybe excessively wide. So if I'm doing a template for myself, and you know, this is too wide, and maybe I want it wide at the bottom and have it angle in at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I want it to be symmetrical, so if I'm going to cut a little bit of a curve to it, I want it to be symmetrical on the curve, so I'm going to fold it this way, and I want it to be symmetrical as both sides curve in. I want them to curve in the same, so I'm going to fold this way as well. Now I do have to kind of gauge the double width, what I want the double width to be. But I think I want to take out probably an inch of width. So if I look at this and I think, okay, that looks about what I want to go for, maybe just a little over an inch of width is what I want to go for, and I kind of want it to have a little bit of a sweep at the beginning and then stay narrowing as it goes up. So I'm going to take this little paper template and cut it. This is the middle where I want it to, oh, and I just about cut the center of it. Make sure you're cutting the right edge. I want it to cut here and then kind of fade out along there somewhere. So if I want to start with a straight section in the middle, I should use a ruler to make sure that section is straight. And so I'm going to go straight for about half the distance, and then have it fade out, and I'm going to leave the bottom, a bit of the bottom with the full width. And I can adjust this line more, but I can't adjust it less. So this might be not quite as much as I wanted to do, but I'm going to do this for my first bit. And I'm going to cut this off. Unfold that and see if I like the look of this better. I think that, if I'm imagining this arched up, I think that's going to be a better shape for what I want, but maybe I want it to be a little less abrupt at the bottom, and I want it to fade to a little thinner up at the top. So I'm going to go in here, and instead of, I still want it to start out straight because I don't want to peak. I want it to be rounded at the top. So I'm going to go straight for, say, an inch, and just have it be a little bit narrower. And again, I'm using the ruler for this just because when I've tried freehanding them, I always end up curving the wrong way for a little bit, and if I try and get rid of the peak, I tend to overcompensate, so ruler is best. And then I'm going to go right in here for, say, 1 inch, maybe even looking at this 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to line up the ruler to that line I had. So it's just going to make it a little more of a smooth organic curve. And you can make adjustments like this as you go, and then you just, you can also make more adjustments on the actual slab. So this is if you're making a template and you want to really plan it out beforehand. I often do a lot of this work just with the slabs. However, when I'm trying to do this symmetry stuff, that's just really hard to do if it's not on a template first. So then I would just lay this out and I can start cutting these out and see what fits, see where I need to do more of a slab.